Still dirty and staying dirty. The flywheel's clean and no rust, which is always nice to see. It come apart nice, no problems there. I want to spray penetrating into the spark plug hole under the exhaust and all that sort of stuff, because this motor's been sitting for 10 years or longer, and it's just, when I looked in the exhaust port I couldn't see any oil, so it's all seeped away, so it's dry in there. And so far I've been totally and utterly avoiding turning that motor over, and just in case I do move it backwards and forwards, I want to have a little bit of oil on those rings just to avoid any kind of scratching, but it's not causing any problems. There's no corrosion in there, there's no dark patches on the wiring, everything looks nice, clean, beautiful. What I'm doing here is I just want to take the bolt out for it's a little metal cover that goes over the wires, so I just want to get that out. I have to put it back in again when I've got the cover off. This is actually one of the bolts that holds the two side covers together. If you haven't seen it before, this is I believe the proper way to take one of these screws out so you don't rough the edges over. You use the impact driver, first few taps to settle the thread and push it in there nicely. Pre-load it, pre-twist it, and then one, maybe two hits and it's done. What I didn't realise is how stiff that wiring is. It's quite brittle. And that wire there that runs from the wiring harness down into the neutral light switch, and it being that brittle, it doesn't want to move. There's a little rubber plastic cap that goes over the wire, and that's supposed to just protect it, because underneath there from memory is just a little screw and a brass fitting that goes to that wire, and that cap's supposed to pop off, and you just a Phillips head screwdriver, take it off and you can remove the whole lot. Well, it looks like that cap is shrunk as well, and it's welded itself onto the wire, so it won't come off, which means I can't get to the screw that disconnects it, so the whole lot's just sort of locked together. Basically what I'm going to try and do is just take the whole lot off as one unit, and if I can keep it as one unit, then maybe I can put it back together again as one unit. And I'm just trying to avoid snapping that wire, it's so brittle. Look, just some things I want to talk about before I move on to the next stage. This is with a magneto cover off and the sprocket off and all that sort of stuff, and just to go over some things we noticed before. Remember I said it was nice that they had a double seal here for the cable to come through, which is lovely, but I really don't understand why the double seal. There's definitely no air hole here going through. That's all in there. There's no air hole inside there. So it's only, this metal here's only purpose is to hold that second seal in place, which is, I really don't understand why they wanted a double seal. I've not seen that before. Not saying it's not around. Second thing is, this is the clutch here cable. The cable runs through here and just pulls this lever, and that runs down through here and goes to here and just pushes in on there and pushes the clutch right. Now, no big deal, but this here is the bolt or nut or whatever that holds that in place. It just goes in there and stops that from popping out. but it's been oogered. Someone's tried to take that off with a screwdriver. Now, that could mean they've replaced the clutch and for some reason wanted to get that shaft out, which shouldn't be necessary anyway, the way these are designed. So I don't know why someone's had to play with that. It really makes no sense to me. Moving on to the seals now. Remember, I don't want to split these cases if I can help it, so I'm going to have to pop these seals out without splitting the cases, which is no big deal because that's just a matter of taking this metal ring out. There should be a low ring behind there, and just a matter of flipping it out. Last time I done one, I think I used an Allen key. I've really forgotten. I have to try and remember that. Anyway, the oil line on this gearbox will be about here, so there will be no evidence that was leaking just sitting there for 10 years. So I would just have to presume it's old and hard. If you have a close look, it's flaked. There's rust. There you go. There's all rust behind there, so it's got to be replaced. That's cool. Anyway, this one down here though, that's a different kettle of fish. I'll just get some light here so you can see it. Where have we got there? That's leaking. That one there is definitely leaking, so it's got to come out. From memory with these sorts of gearbox, I can when I take that cover off on the other side, I'll show you how to pull that shaft out and whip that one out easy enough and replace it. Not a problem. Now over here, just some observations. These are the main parts that magneto plate bolts on with, and these are like secondary just support things. There's a timing mark here, and it said that magneto plate was lined up perfectly with it, so it's not advanced or retarded, it's just in the middle. Now, but my curious observation is that this is all black and tarnished, like you've got, you know when you polish aluminium and it goes black? Well, it's got that black there, so it looks like, see the rotation of these flywheels is that way around, so if that was to be just slightly vibrating and then flinging material off it, it would go downwards, and that's the direction it's going. Same as this one over here, it says it's going uphill. And that one over there as well. It's just really odd as to what's going on there. I don't know. If someone knows, they can leave a comment, but I don't know what that is. I can only suppose that it's really lightly vibrating on there and not sitting hard, and that's sort of causing something just to wear the material away. I don't know. Apart from that, it's nice in there. There's no signs that this seal's leaking, but you got to presume it's old. So, and that's a really sweet nut. That I've never had one so nicely. Normally those things are oogered around. So, anyway, she's looking good. That's the hole for the neutral light switch. I have to plug that before I wash this bike. But apart from that, I'm reasonably happy with what I've got here so far. I'll take a picture on the magneto plate to show you as well. This is the back of the magneto. It's clean, but you can see on the edges there, this is where that sub-black backing plate is, and you just how it's sort of the metal's eaten away a bit. Inside there's no sign of any touching anywhere. It's really nice. On the outside it's nice as well. That magneto plate, it's pretty good. Like the wires here are okay, they're stiff, not so bad. The plate itself is just nice and clean, everything. I can't see any problems there. This neutral switch, like that wire, that is solid. That plastic is just hard, and there'd be a little brass connection in there, and if I wiggle that too much, I'm just going to snap it, and that cover should be soft and it should slide up there, but it's welded, shrunk and welded itself on there, so I can't get that off. It means that I have to put that whole thing back in place just like the way you saw I took it off, which is, and you know, not the hardest thing in the world, but that's the way it is. And I've tried to look up, you can't buy those little caps, so if I just sort of cut it and re-shut it, and I can't do that either. Well, I can, but I can't get a cap like that at this stage, so I'm sort of stuck with what I got, and I just have to work with it.